What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Crossroads Rebuild. My name is Steven, and today we're back on the F-150. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize right up front. With this episode, I'm going to be all over the place. We're going to continue putting the front end back together. Actually, as you can see, it looks pretty good, but I've got a few odds and ends that still need to be put back on, like the wheel well liners and a few things like that. And then in addition to wrapping up these last few things that need to be installed back on the truck, we're going to jump in on some of our mods as well. Some of those are exterior, some of them are under the engine hood, or under the hood rather, and then some of them are inside the truck. So we'll probably be all over the place in this episode, but just stick with me. I think it's going to be a lot of fun as we make this truck personal to me. I'm planning to keep this truck long term, so I'm very excited about some of the things that I'm going to be doing to it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the truck out, and I'm going to put it up on the quick jacks because I want to get the wheels off of it. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, and then I'm going to get to work. Took me a minute because, well, the truck's tall, so having to find a way to get it to line up properly with the quick jacks, but I do have it up off the ground now. And so the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is, as you can see, I've got replacement wheels here. Now, in the accident, both front wheels were damaged. This one is still holding air just fine, but you can see the wheel is pretty well toasted. And then, well, I've been running the spare here on this side because this wheel was completely obliterated. The tire was shredded and the wheel was split and it's totally junk. The rear two wheels are okay, I guess, but I found a set of wheels on Facebook Marketplace that are in excellent condition, far better than this truck. They were takeoffs from the same year, 2014, with only 34,000 miles on it. So I went ahead and got a set of 4. Now, some of you are thinking, well, this was your opportunity to get rid of the chrome and, you know, put something else on there, aftermarket or whatever. And to be totally honest with you, I'm not opposed to chrome. I know a lot of folks, especially nowadays, aren't into the chrome, but it doesn't bother me. This truck actually came with a factory chrome package, so I'm keeping that part of it pretty stock. It's possible I may put a set of tires on it at some point that are maybe a little bit bigger, I don't know. But this does have a factory set of Michelins on it, and they've still got a lot of meat on them, so I'm gonna go ahead and run them for now. So, first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and pop these old wheels off. Sorry about the sirens, got an ambulance going over there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pop these wheels off and get the wheels all swapped out, and that should enable me to get rid of the tire pressure code, because obviously there's no sensor in there. And because I'm swapping out all of these wheels, these do come with the pressure sensors still in them. But I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and reprogram the truck to learn these new sensors. While I've got these front wheels off, I'm also gonna go ahead and put my wheel well liners back in there. It just makes sense while I've got all that apart. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on all that and set you guys up on a time lapse. All right, well, it hasn't been without its challenges, but I've got 3 of the 4 wheels replaced now. as well as I've got the inner fender liners, the wheel well liners in the front, and a few other little odds and ends buttoned up that I didn't bother to show you on camera because it's kind of boring. I also got, as you can see over here, the driver's side side step put back on, and that is a Ford factory original that I got from a guy used for pretty cheap, so happy to have that back on there. Still working on that wheel back there. It is just seized on there. Pardon me, it's just seized on there really bad, and so I've got some penetrating fluid on it, and I'm going to let it set for a little while and come back to it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do for now is switch from outside stuff to some inside stuff and get to an inside mod that I'm pretty excited about. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the battery because we need to have the battery unhooked for this, and I'm going to hop inside and show you what I've got going on in there. All right, so we moved into the inside, and please don't mind the dust. I will be cleaning this up really well very soon. But what I'm going to be doing is taking care of this right here. As you can see, this truck came with a 4-inch little bitty screen. It's not touch screen or anything. It gets the job done. Let's be honest, it does get the job done. But this truck is about 6 years old, and it would feel so much more modern and so much more comfortable if it had a bigger screen that did more things, and that is what I'm working on today. As you can see, I have the parts necessary here. Well, if I can do this one-handed, to convert this truck over to an 8-inch Ford factory touchscreen with Sync 3 and Apple CarPlay. Got all the parts I need in there and right here. And we're gonna go ahead and swap this out and get this set up, and I should be able to modernize this interior, make it a lot more comfortable and a lot more useful, and feel a lot fresher with this new screen. So I'm gonna try to find a way to put you guys on a tripod so I can put you on a time lapse and you can watch the process, and then somewhere along the line I'll give you an update on how it's going. All right, and there we go. It is installed and it is working. Now I can't show you Apple CarPlay working because I'm using my phone to record right now, but hey, everything's installed. It's really amazing how much just that larger screen with the extra functionality adds to the modernness of the truck. It really gives it a breath of fresh air, if you will. Of course, you've got the 8-inch touchscreen. I'm sorry, we're gonna turn that off so that you cannot hear anything that's going to give me a copyright strike. The screen does give on-screen options for your climate control, which are redundant to these. I know it says it has dual control. It doesn't. If you were to use it, it's just everything is synced together. It doesn't actually have dual climate control, but it is cool that it does add it to the screen. Of course, you got your phone, you've got your apps, so to speak. I haven't messed with any of that yet. Settings, all of that stuff. And then, of course, if you hooked in your Lightning connector here, then you would have Apple CarPlay as well. So very cool, very excited to have this, and really looking forward to experiencing this on a nice long drive. All right, well, after working on that radio replacement and getting the nice Sync 3 with Apple CarPlay installed and all that, I went back to trying to get this rear wheel off. I was still having struggles, but I talked to my buddy Ryan over at Jammer Rebuilders, and he gave me a suggestion to go ahead and loosen just 2 lug nuts, take the rest of them off, and then go drive the truck around the block and hit some potholes and stuff, just kind of drive it like I stole it and see if that would loosen it up. And sure enough, it did. So I now have all 4 of my wheels replaced, and the tire sensors are all reset, and there's no code on there whatsoever. So first of all, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate your help very, very much. And by the way, for all of you watching, if you're not already subscribed to Jammer Rebuilders, that's JMR Rebuilders, I'll put the link below. Go on and click onto their channel. Watch them. They're hilarious and they're doing great work. I really highly suggest you take a look at their channel and follow them. But it's getting late for me and I need to go in and eat supper and get cleaned up. But I feel like I want to do some more in this video. I don't want to end it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause it here for tonight. And in just a second for you, we'll be back with more content, getting more stuff done here on the truck. So I'll see you in just a moment. And I'm back. It is day 2 now of working on the F-150, and today I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of more things added on to the F-150, a few upgrades, if you will, to the F-150 as we continue to make it better than OEM. So actually, I'm going to start with something really simple. This is actually not an upgrade, it's just something that needs to be done that'll really make this thing look a lot more complete. Well, as we've rebuilt this truck and the paint is looking so nice, we've got everything put back together, it's still conspicuously missing its fender badges. We actually did save the fender badges both from the original wrecked fenders, actually right there, as well as the donor truck fenders, which are actually on the truck. But these here on the original fenders are pretty dinged up. They got messed up in the accident, and the ones we pulled off from the donors, they're not in great shape either. A couple of the tabs, like these little locating tabs, got damaged. So I decided, you know what? This thing's looking so good, it really deserves to have really nice badges on it. So I went to Ford and picked up a brand new set of fender badges. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on, and that will really finish off the look of this truck and really make it look like it's done. So let me go ahead and get that cleaned up and put those on real quick. All right, there we go. It has both of its badges, and now the F-150 is really looking like something. Well, that was quick and easy, and it really helps a lot. I think it dresses up the truck to have those badges back on. Of course, there's the sirens. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is, if you remember from the last video when I was putting the interior back together, I actually had left the door panels not fully installed. Well, there's 2 reasons for that, and we're going to get into both of those. For one, I've still got factory original Ford mirrors on here, and I'm going to put a new set of factory original Ford mirrors on, but I'm going to go ahead and put the towing mirrors on this truck. They're Ford factory towing mirrors, but since I do intend to use this truck as my towing rig for future rebuild projects, I thought having the towing mirrors on here would really help. And then while I've got those door panels off to replace the mirrors, I've also got a speaker upgrade for the interior to go along with that nice new Apple CarPlay factory upgraded 8-inch entertainment system. So I'm going to go ahead and get the thing opened up. I'm going to go ahead and take those door panels off. We're going to replace speakers. We're going to add our towing mirrors. And well, I'm going to go ahead and set you guys on a tripod to watch. All right, got the original mirror off. Here is the original, and here is our Ford factory towing mirror. Of course, it's got the blinker built in, 2 parts, and of course it extends out, telescopes out. This one comes with a puddle lamp, but my truck didn't have that feature, so they probably won't work. Maybe we'll look at enabling that feature in the future. All right, quick interjection from future Steven here. I told you guys that these puddle lamps that these mirrors came with wouldn't work because my truck was not equipped with those from the factory. All the reading I read, or all the reading I did suggested that. But as I was packing up and cleaning up, I noticed, well, they do work. So that's cool. If you get these mirrors and your truck didn't already have puddle lamps, maybe they'll work like mine. I'll need to put some LEDs in there because I really don't like those little halogen bulbs or whatever those are. Incandescents, but anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. The puddle lamps do work. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing installed. But before I do that, I've actually got one more thing I wanna add. Some of you are gonna cringe at this, but that's okay. This is my truck. Let's see if I can get a hold of this here. I have chrome caps for the top of the mirror just to replace the black. Now, some of you are thinking, why in the world would you add additional chrome? Because it is kind of a tradition nowadays, or at least a fad or whatever, not to have chrome. But this truck came with a factory chrome package, and I kind of like it. And I wouldn't want to go excessive with it, but I think having those chrome caps on those mirrors will fit in with the rest of the subtle chrome that this truck does have. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on. Then I'm going to install the mirror, and then we're going to go ahead and put a new speaker in the door before I button everything back up. So let's go ahead and get going on that. Alrighty, well, I forgot to roll the time lapse on putting the mirror on. So there it is, it's installed. I'll show you on the other side putting that on. For now, before I button this door back up, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the speaker. I do have new speakers for all the doors, and actually it comes with tweeters for the front pillars. Not sure if I'll get to that part today, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. Got a good deal on a set of kickers for the whole truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that installed. It'll make the sound a whole lot better here in this truck than the factory ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Then we're gonna button up the door, put the plastic back on it. I skipped that last time, then get everything permanently installed. So back on time lapse, and I'm gonna get back to work. All right, well, as seems to be typical for me, it took longer than I was planning, but I have both of the mirrors replaced now with the Dumbo ears, if you will, the nice towing mirrors, and I've put the chrome skull caps there on the top. Of course, these are the ones that also telescope out, so if you need that extra distance, you've got it. And man, they're so much bigger than the originals over here. But boy, do I like it. I think that looks fantastic. And more importantly, it's really gonna help with towing. You can't see anything, but I have also managed to replace all 4 of the speakers. I've tested them, they work. Trust me, they're back there. You saw on the time lapse me doing the job, and they sound fantastic. So this is actually where I intended originally to stop, because it is hot and nasty out here. But I thought, I'm gonna do one more thing. You see this? That bed is full of junk, parts from this truck. Some of it's junk, some of it's just spare parts from the donor truck and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna empty all of this out. I'll sort it later, but I'm gonna empty it all out. I'm gonna hose this out, or pressure wash it, get it nice and clean, and then I'm gonna slap one more accessory onto this truck before I finish for the day. So I'm gonna set you guys back up on one more time lapse, and I'm gonna get busy on this. Alrighty, it is tonneau cover time. I am excited to put a tonneau cover on this truck. It actually came with one when I got the truck. You may remember that from some of the earlier videos, but it was kind of the roll-up kind, and I'm not a big fan of those. I have had the X-Tang Trifecta on several other of my trucks, and it is bar none the best tonneau cover that I personally experienced, and it's pretty affordable as well. So, the bed is all cleaned out, it's pressure washed, still a little damp, but I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this tonneau cover installed on the truck. All right, and that is all there is to it. It's really just 2 clamps, one on either side there once you've got it lined up, and then it's got 2 spring-loaded releases on either side here at the back of the bed. You see them right there. And they just spring load and easy release, and there it is. Looks fantastic. I've never had one leak, and I'm really pleased with the way this looks. This has been packaged up for a little while, so this will lay flat once it's been in the sun for just a little while. But boy, I am happy with the way that looks. Wow. Well, all right, everybody, that is where we're going to end it with this one for today. We've got another episode coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But we got a lot accomplished in this episode. We've got our wheels swapped out, got our running board put on, got our front wheel well liners installed, got our new mirrors, new towing mirrors, there we go, that side, new towing mirrors installed on the truck, got our stereo replaced, got our speakers replaced, got the tonneau cover on it. I have settled that already, I'm not sure, but we got a lot accomplished. I've got a lot of stuff I've got to do around the house today, so I'm going to go ahead and stop for today, but thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where we've got just a few other odds and ends that'll finish up the look of the truck, and then also a few more mods, and in this case, actually a few mods that are specifically performance related, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited about it. I hope you are as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. If you're not already subscribed, why don't you go ahead and do that. Also, go ahead and down there in the description, you'll see Jammer Rebuilders. Go ahead and click on that. Go check them out and give them a sub as well. They'd love that, and I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Looking forward to the next one. We'll see you then.